Have you ever tried to just hold a book out in front of you for any amount of time? This isn't a big book. It is a Bible, so it's not like a tiny thing, but it's not one of the really thick Bibles either. So it's not huge. It's a small weight. But the more that I hold this out in front of me, the longer that I just hold it, the heavier it becomes. I start to feel it in my shoulder. I start to feel it in my arm. And eventually, the longer I hold it, my hand would start to shake. And you'd start to see that my arm would start to go down a little bit from the weight. Especially if I start to add more books on top of this one, the weight would just become more and more and more the longer that I hold it. I think that we have a tendency to do this sometimes in our lives. We have a tendency to hold on to weights. We think, well, this stress, it's not too bad right now. I could hold on to this stress for a little while. Yes, that was discouraging. It was a discouraging moment. I can hold on to that for just a little while. It's not too bad. But what we find is that the more we hold on to stress, the more that we hold on to the discouragements in life, the heavier they become over time. And it's not just the one stress thing where we're holding the one book out in front of us. It's adding on top of it. So it might be one stress today that we're going to hold on to, but then another stress comes along and adds on. And the more that we do, the heavier it gets, and we start to feel it, and we start to go down and down. But it's not like a book that we hold in our hands. We carry the stresses and our discouragements in our heads and in our hearts. And we can usually see a person's demeanor change the longer that they hold on to their stress and their anxiety and their discouragement and their worry. Because you could actually see their shoulders start to droop from the weight. You can see their head start to go down from the weight, and their eyes just shift because they're no longer light and encouraged. They're feeling the discouragement and the stress, and they're just down. And that's where this idea of downcast comes from. Our word of the week this week speaks to these moments. It's Psalm chapter 3, verse 3. It says, "You, O Lord, are a shield about me. You are my glory and the lifter of my head." I love that name for God. It says that you are the lifter of my head. So in those moments where we are feeling the discouragement, when we're feeling stress and anxiety and worry, know that we can put our trust in the Lord, and He will be a shield around us, and that we can take our stress and our anxiety and whatever weight that we might be carrying today, and we can lay it at the foot of Jesus, and He will come and He will lift our burden. He will lift the weight from our shoulders, and He will be the lifter of our heads. God bless. Have a great week.